Hello, you guys. I wanted to answer a series of questions. I really get inundated with a lot of questions regarding what black soap is, what it's used for, who can use it, what it smells like, technical questions, questions that are purely based on some of the myths that people hear or read online. And so I've got a long list of them, and I'm going to go through as many of it as possible. Right. So with the background noise, you guys would really have to forgive me for that because I'm sitting outside. It's a very nice warm Saturday and I live on a beautiful street that has got a series of restaurants lining one side of my street. Amazing restaurants with people sitting outside. So it's really nice and it's been a long day and I just want to sit outside, have my little drink and observe the world go by. So you would have to have me like this with all the background noise, but I can promise you that this video has got a wealth of knowledge. If you're new to black soap or if you've heard about black soap being amazing and you want to learn more about the soap and what it does, new to black soap, or I'm going to try and speak out loudly so even with the noise in the background you can still hear me. Right, so the first question, some of the questions are more technical, so it's more suitable for people that make soap or sell black soap. So what I'll do is I'll separate the video. I would make a video answering questions, the more technical questions for people who are interested in soap making, and then there's a version of the video for people who are consumers and just want to use the soap. So I'll skip the first one because it was asking if African black soap can be molded. The simple answer to that is yes, but there's, I would have to be a bit technical about that. There's more details that goes into that. So I'll probably reserve this one for people on the course. The next question, can African black soap lighten skin? This is one of the reasons why a lot of people use black soap. When I was growing up in Ghana, what I remember women used to do is people used to mix bleaching soaps that contain hydroquinone and other bleaching agents with black soap, and they would keep it in pails, and what they would do is they would apply the soap to their body, leave it on for about 30 minutes before they jumped into the shower. And so they did see toning or bleaching effect all right, but it was never pure 100% raw black soap. For black soap to tone or lighten or bleach the skin, there has got to be another agent in there. So organic or authentic black soap does not bleach or tone the skin. Can black soap be used on body? Yes, black soap can be used to wash hair, it can be used to wash your body, it can be used to do laundry, and it can be used to clean the household. Can black soap be used as shampoo? Yes, black soap can be used as shampoo. What some hair types will find is that it cleanses a lot, and so if it leaves your hair feeling frizzy or completely stripped of oils, what you can do is do an ACV rinse, an apple cider rinse. I am not a big passionate person when it comes to hair care. I leave that to my hairdresser, so I don't follow a lot of the online routine that vloggers subscribe, so I will not be able to give you so much details about post rinses when you use black soap for your hair. But I think there's got to be lots of videos on YouTube that would give you advice regarding what the process is to go through after using black soap. I just use black soap to wash my hair. I don't do any type of rinses afterwards, and I just oil my root with either olive oil or shea butter. Can black soap cure acne? I'm very sorry, I am an acne sufferer myself. I've been suffering with acne since 2005, so 13 years now. I know a lot about acne, and so take it from me, black soap on its own is never going to cure any form of acne. If you have spots or breakouts that are superficial, then yes, it can help clear it up, but most acne are hormonal. When you've got hormonal acne, African black soap on its own is not going to cure your acne. You need to be speaking to a dermatologist, a beauty therapist if you're in the States, an esthetician, or someone that is well versed in skincare routine and cures and remedies, because most often hormonal acne is cured both topically and then also with a prescription of some sort. So African black soap does not cure acne. Can African black soap be used on white skin? Yes, anybody at all can use African black soap, irrespective, black, white, Asian, mixed race, wherever you come from in the world, you can certainly use African black soap. African black soap is not for one race, because African black soap essentially is soap. It's a degreaser, it's for cleansing, so it works on any skin type, unless you've got extremely sensitive skin, whereby you may see some reactions to certain African black soap. I have written about how African black soap is made traditionally by women who do not weigh each ingredient. They use in specific containers every single time, and so the volume and weight changes with every batch a little bit, and there's no timing when it comes to the cooking of the soap. So sometimes you may find some soap would be undercooked or may have free lye still left in the soap after the saponification process has happened, and so you may use this soap and then you may feel a burn or an extreme dryness, or you may find that you would develop certain symptoms. So if you have very sensitive skin, then yes, you could potentially see some symptoms with African black soap. But African black soap in general does not harm any skin type. Can African black soap irritate skin? I think I have more or less answered that in the previous question. African black soap should not irritate your skin. The only times that African black soap would irritate your skin is if you have extreme skin sensitivities, if your skin is inflamed, or you've got cuts or openings in the skin. My goodness. Okay, well, I had said I was trying to enjoy the environment, but one of the restaurants is playing very loud music. Oh, there's a private party. Ah, silly me. Okay, I wonder if I should set up inside. Can African black soap irritate skin? Right, okay, so I've answered that. Can African black soap clear dark spots? Yes and no. African black soap can help clear superficial dark spots. So if your dark spot is something recent left by a spot like acne or pimple, and it's just sitting on the epidermis, it doesn't go deep into the dermis, then that is dead skin cell that at some point would exfoliate and it would fall off on its own. It's going to take a series of skin cycles for it to fall off. So when you use African black soap, it can certainly help erase dark spots like that. However, if you've got a birthmark, or if you've got a dark spot that eats deep into the dermis, it goes to through the different layers of the skin, then I'm sorry, African black soap on its own will not be able to get rid of the dark spot. That is a sort of spot that you cannot even treat with home care products. You definitely need to speak to a beauty therapist or an esthetician who may introduce you to exfoliation processes like microdermabrasion, maybe chemical peels and other forms of exfoliations to help get rid of it. Can African black soap be used on the face? Yes. I think most of my questions has answered this already. African black soap definitely can be used on the face. Just please do not leave it sitting on your face for 100 hours before you wash it off. Do not sleep with African black soap sitting on your face. That doesn't work. That is really disrespecting your skin, because no type of soap is designed to sit on the face overnight or for prolonged periods. That's why soaps falls into the category of products that are called rinse off products. Do not leave African black soap sitting on your face. Can African black soap cause acne? No, African black soap can never cause acne. If you're not prone to acne, if you've never had acne before, African black soap can never give you acne. I think this question is inspired by people using black soap and then they get congestion that comes to the surface of the skin, and you would think that the product you've used has caused you to break out. But the life cycle of congestion coming to the top layer of the skin It's not something that happens overnight. Whenever we have spots, it's spots that was waiting to come out anyway. It was going to come out one way or the other. It was congested hair follicles that were going to push to the top of the skin anyway. So African black soap is never the cause of your acne. When you break out, it's because that you had congestion that was sitting deep into the skin layers and it has come to the surface of the skin. In the video prior to this one where I answer if African black soap is comedogenic, I do explain how when you cleanse the sebum feels like the skin is being attacked from outside, and so your body goes into an overproduction of sebum to rehydrate the skin again. But this is not the same process as how acne forms. Acne forms in some people and it doesn't form in other people, and acne is simple. If you Google acne, there's so many articles, so I'm not going to reiterate how acne forms, but acne happens in some of us and it doesn't happen in some of us. And the way acne forms is really hair follicles being inflamed and then the congestion popping to the surface of the skin. So it's never African black soap that causes acne at all. Right, can African black soap clear acne? We've covered that. Can African black soap cause breakouts? We've covered that. Can African black soap whiten skin? No, I'm sorry. African black soap is never going to turn you into Bobrisky. African black soap is never going to bleach your skin. If you've ever had anyone tell you that African black soap bleaches, it's because they were introduced to African black soap that was mixed with something else. Can African black soap be used to wash hair? Bing. Yes, we answered that already. African black soap can be used as shampoo, it can be used to wash hair, it can be used to wash feet, it can be used to wash the body. Actually, I'm going to spend some time creating a video advising estheticians specifically how you can incorporate African black soap in your treatments. Can African black soap cause... Well, it's the same question, it's just a different way of putting it regarding having spots or acne from using African black soap. Can African black soap cause purging? Which we've answered, right? How is African black soap made? You are on the right channel on YouTube. I think we're one of the few channels on YouTube that shows you how authentic African black soap is made, not the variations that tells you to add cocoa powder or charcoal, but the authentic real deal African black soap. And I'm not going to answer this question because I've got so many videos on this channel that shows you how African black soap is made. What is African black soap used for? African black soap is soap. It's used for degreasing, cleansing, it's used for detergent purposes. So you think of how you would use any soap, you can use African black soap for those processes. What African black soap is best? All African black soap at the moment in the US, UK, worldwide, more or less comes from a few places. The majority of it comes from Ghana. They're made the same way, so don't worry about African black soap. As long as it looks authentic to you, go ahead and buy it. If it's on Amazon, if it's on eBay, if it's on private websites, they're all from the same place in Ghana. I can tell you that much. It's just different people buying them from the small manufacturers and bringing it here, slapping the labels on it. So African black soap more or less are all coming from the same place, Ghana. You get some black soap coming from Nigeria and other parts of Africa, but that is in very minute quantities when you compare to how much African black soap is coming from Ghana. Hey guys, so one way or the other I had to concede defeat. It's quite noisy outside and I'm not even sure yet if anything I said previously was picked up, so I'm erring on caution. I've moved indoors so that I can finish the series of questions. There's quite a lot more, so I would probably break it down into 3 separate videos, but I still have quite a bit to go, even though I'm going to break it into 3 separate videos. Right, okay, so where I got to, what African black soap is used for, we've got that, we've done that. What African black soap is best, I've answered that one. How does African black soap lighten skin? Authentic African black soap does not lighten skin. What African black soap does is it exfoliates dead skin cells, so you would see an improvement in the texture of your skin. But African black soap does not lighten your skin, so you're not going to move scales on the Fitzpatrick. You're not going to move from 4 to 1 or 2. You're always going to remain the same skin color, but a more toned version of your natural skin color. African black soap does not change your melanin production. It doesn't affect your melanin production at all. Waste of time. Unless there is an agent added to African black soap, it's not going to bleach, lighten, or change the your complexion. How to make African black soap, that's technical. How is African black soap good for you? African black soap is good for you simply because the majority of African black soap from Ghana is made with cocoa pot ash and a variety of other wood that may have some herbal properties in it that sometimes can seep through. This changes from batch to batch, but the benefits of it can sometimes seep through to the soap. Aside that, African black soap is great for degreasing the skin, and so for people with oily skin, you would see the most benefit from using African black soap, because it gives your skin some amount of dryness for a more lengthier time before you have to start worrying about your mostly the oily T-zone. African black soap really most often is very sensitive and it's delicate on babies and children's skin. African black soap can be used by anyone at all. It has a variety of properties, and I would really like to focus on the more common questions that people are asking, but it's not being answered by people who don't know so much about African black soap. But with regards to the benefits of it, search YouTube, search Google. There's so much that is shared by people on it. African black soap is a type of soap that people that suffer from psoriasis and eczema can also use, and it will not irritate your skin as long as you don't have any open skin or wounds or terribly inflamed skin. Then you can use it and it's not going to irritate your skin. How is African black soap good for you? What does African black soap do? We've more or less covered this, haven't we? How to use African black soap for acne. I've got to do a separate video on this one. I'm going to do a more dedicated video on how to use African black soap if you suffer from acne. How to mix African black soap. Okay, again, I'll make a video on this one as well for people who want to mix other agents with their black soap. What is African black soap used for? I've got that. What African black soap should I buy? What African black soap should you buy? Buy from me, either Ghana Soap School or Yafumanti if you're in the UK, or in the US you can buy it off Amazon. But as I have previously mentioned, most African black soap you find worldwide is coming from the same place in Ghana. They are just sold under different brands, so it doesn't matter in the bigger picture of it all. It doesn't really matter. If it looks like African black soap to you, go ahead and buy it. Which African black soap to buy? Which African black soap is best for acne? That's more or less answered. If you are keeping up with me and you understand a bit more about African black soap now, I think you would get this one. What is African black soap good for? Washing your hair, dandruff, psoriasis, eczema, dry skin, mature skin, delicate baby children's skin. Good for men, pre-shave, for men's beards. You know, you can use it as a beard shampoo, you can use it as a face wash, you can use it as a makeup remover, you can use it as part of your manicure or your pedicure. If you are a professional esthetician, you can use black soap in place of a lot of products. Black soap can be used from the crown to the sole. That's the best way I can answer this one. You know, even for those of you who are obsessed with the vagina steam, for instance, you can actually use black soap to wash your intimate areas, or you can drop black soap in your vagina steam potion or mixtures. I probably should do a video on vagina steam, because for those of us from Ghana, and I suspect most of Africa, vagina steam is nothing new. It's something that we've grown up with. A woman is encouraged to do vagina steam for days, especially after birth, or whenever you have any surgery or any trauma that causes a tear or opening around the area. When a woman has her first intercourse, and you know, it's a misadventure, for instance, and if you want to calm or soothe yourself, you will sit on a steamed water bath. So the vagina steam is nothing new from that part of Africa, and so you can actually incorporate it in your vagina steam. What does African black soap smell like? What does African black soap smell like? Even though I make black soap, and I've made so many variations of it with so many different oils, I personally would say authentic black soap doesn't have a smell. I probably have lost my sense of smell when it comes to black soap, but it probably may have a slight woody or nutty smell, maybe. This is when it's authentic, raw, unscented. If it's scented, then it's going to take on the smell of whatever fragrance is used. And what is raw African black soap? Raw African black soap is really the state that we used to sell black soap originally, and then in the last few years people have added fragrance to it. So when you come across African black soap that is eucalyptus, lemon and all those things, they are added scents. Raw authentic African black soap always never had any scents added to it. It was just sold as you know, just as it was made. What is pure African black soap? Pure African black soap is raw African black soap. How is African black soap good for you? It's very, very good for you because it doesn't irritate skin. It doesn't cause your skin to purge. It's very good on delicate skin. It doesn't irritate. It can help dandruff, as long as you know it's not dandruff at a stage that needs clinical intervention. It can be used in a multitude of ways. Where does African black soap comes from? Something like 80% of the world's black soap comes from Ghana, and something like 95% of the black soap from Ghana comes from the same place. Everybody is buying from the same people to sell around the world. I make my own black soap. I have taught people how to make black soap around the world now, but what I know for a fact, a lot of people that sell black soap online do not make it themselves. They buy, and it's all coming from the same place. So the majority of the world's black soap comes from Ghana. There is some that comes from Nigeria, but Nigeria is a big importer of potash from Ghana. I know this for a fact. There's some black soap made in places like Togo and Ivory Coast, but you know, that production is all very, very minuscule. It's very small compared to black soap production in Ghana. Why African black soap works? We'll save that for part 2. Right guys, so I have answered so much about black soap now. If you're new to black soap, if you've only just heard about black soap, then I hope that you feel confident with some of you've heard with using black soap or buying your first black soap. Maybe I should grab black soap to show you how authentic black soap should look like. Bear with me a moment. Right, so one of the biggest question is, what should black soap look like? And if you follow me, or if you've been following me for a while, you would have heard me say that black soap can look pitch black or caramel, or anything between pitch black and caramel. So these two are soaps that I made this afternoon with a client of mine who has made his own potash in Uganda, and he brought me a sample of the potash, and we played with it. Essentially both soaps were made from the same potash, right? Only thing we did was we wanted both the caramel and the pitch black. Well, this is not even pitch black, the black version. So black soap will look something like this, either, you know, brown and dry. Now obviously, because we made this, it's still quite moist, so it may be like that, but a bit more drier, or it may look something like this, right? Authentic black soap made with potash. Black soap can be sold in a container. So this is my own black soap for those in the UK. So it can look something like this. I will try and show you with the light off as well. Or like this. These are both the same batch of black soap. The only difference is that this has got more glycerin in it. Not additional glycerin. I've put it through a process where the natural glycerin has seeped through it. So black soap or authentic black soap can really look caramel, anything from caramel to pitch black.